The Golden Globes. I mean, I can't even believe I'm in the entertainment industry. I can't. It's so unlikely. I'm from a small town in Indiana. I'm not a pedophile.
I think if there's one thing we've learned from award shows is that men should just never speak.
Yes, comedian Jim touches Hollywood at Golden Globes with pedo jab in wake of Epstein list revealed. I don't know how a couple of videos I'm going to play, you will see exactly how the people are reacting to this. Going down this article, comedian Jim touched Hollywood during Sunday 2024 Golden Globes Award with a pedo jab in the wake of last week headline grabbing Jeffrey Lee's disclosure.
Personally didn't watch the Golden Globes, but I did catch this clip.
From a small town in Indiana, I'm not a pedophile.
No, he just played one on TV.
New neighbor, I'm legally required to tell you that I'm a registered.
Now, a lot of people are taking this as a win, right? Calling them out in a very Ricky Gervais type of way. Amazing, not as funny as Ricky, and I would admit. But the difference between what he is doing now and what Ricky Gervais did is that Ricky Gervais did it at a time when this information wasn't culturally accepted. Before you start writing it down and taking it as a win, let me remind you of a few things that Jim Gaffigan had said. In 2020, he tweeted out, "If you want to sound crazy, please tell me about the deep state. To sound stupid, please be against cancel culture, but then accuse anyone with an opinion of virtue signaling. Trump derangement syndrome is meant to distract from Khan the Don." Which was then replied to by Chrissy Teigen stating that, "I'd like to welcome you to the Epstein flight logs. You should be edited on there shortly, name, spelling, pending." Want a real deep rabbit hole? Go find Chrissy Teigen and her old tweets when it comes to toddlers and tiaras and kids. And let's go back to the movie for a second. Now, if you listen to Cat Williams' interview at all, you know that some of these secret societies have initiation processes, and some of those initiation processes include things like wearing a dress on film, doing certain things that would be kind of considered out of pocket in order to gain notoriety within Hollywood. One of those initiation processes would be having to tell people who you really are and what you really are, and then try to play it off as a joke, which it seems like Hollywood has become notorious for doing, and we as a society had wholeheartedly accepted at one point in time. I would also like to remind you that Jim Gaffigan got really drunk one night and went on a tweeting rampage when it came to Trump and his supporters. Now, it is one thing to have an opinion when it comes to politics, that's perfectly fine. An opinion that comes to Trump, that's perfectly fine. But when you start bringing up things like his supporters, solely his supporters, only the ones that are believing that Hollywood is a P3DO ring, that's when you're going to start running into issues. Especially when this was back in, 2020, and we are now in 2023, and the Epstein docs have dropped, and some of the flight logs have been mainstreamly put out, which basically proves the fact that the majority of people in Hollywood are bought and paid for as an elite societal ring of sorts. On to talk about how the Trump supporters were nothing but bots whenever they brought up the Hollywood and the entertainment industry as an enormous P3DO ring. It was bots that was selling this message and not actual people. He went on to state that, "I know that sounds absurd, but I've received dozens of messages from people convinced that it was true. This isn't much of a fringe belief as you might think. Eats a Pay 8K wasn't a one-off. It was the tip of the iceberg." Now we are in 2023 and we have seen the Epstein docs, and we have seen a few members of Hollywood, Ice Cube, Cat Williams, come out and talk about the initiation and the things that had gone on in these elite clubs. Shift had happened. People believe them. More people now than they probably did then. For him to get up and joke about it as if he wasn't complicit in at least some way, and at least knowing that this was going on, is off base, in my opinion. Even if he wasn't directly involved in any of it, and he may not have been, you knew some of this was going on. You tweeted about it in 2020, but then you called them all conspiracy theorists and dismissed them. But you knew. Everybody in Hollywood knows. As more and more stuff starts to come out with a lot of this Epstein stuff, and then it's just going to kind of slow roll into some other stuff, you need to be really, really watchful about how some of these people start to act. Getting up at the Golden Globes was a way for him to try and dismiss what was being put out there, to downplay what was being put out there, to take away the importance of what that testimony was telling people. It was gaslighting, and it was narcissistic.
Yes, thank you. A lot of people never understood what was going on. Some appreciated him for doing that. It is insane. He's just trying to downplay what we recently saw, it means everybody inside this room is just like, that is what he was doing. He's a Trump hater. I think I went through the comment sections of that video to see exactly how people are reacting to it. they were just going off on him. I really wanted to support this man, but due to the fact that he supported Biden, and that is just what I was saying through the comment sections. I didn't even know there was something like a show. I just waked up, I went on Twitter, realized some of these people were training, I had to look through. We saw what happened with Ricky Gervais. He is the only person that actually made this and it went viral. Nobody's talking about this award because people are not interested in anything linking to Hollywood.
Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care. You had to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world.
Yes, taking a look at how people are reacting to this on Twitter, Jim has expressed his disdain for former President Donald Trump and support for President Biden. A number of those reacting to Jim pedo joke highlighted the comedian politics. Low, he's a Trump-hating lefty, but he is on the money there. One commentator wrote, "Though he's a Trump hater," another commentator said, "Wish I could support him. I loved Jim until 2020 when he announced he was supporting Biden." Another commentator declared, "You can see exactly how people are reacting to this. It's like he was just trying to do the same thing like Ricky Gervais said almost the same thing that year. It went viral. Now trying to almost repeat the same thing that cannot be compared to this video." Yes, it is very clear Jim monologue at the Golden Globe was intentionally done to try and make light of the rampant pedo behavior in Hollywood and the Epstein court document. Historically, Jim dismissed and made fun of those who brought this information to his attention. So, in the past, he actually mocked people, that actually talked about this. Now coming out to say this was not really like to throw some kind of light. He's the only person that actually went viral throughout that show. I've not heard of like Taylor Swift and
I love Ricky Gervais. Alright, Trevor Noah's next. This is for the stand-up comedy performance. We'll see. I love Ricky Gervais. I just don't feel like he's gonna win. Because, like, the clear best choice rarely ever wins. I said it. Chris Rock's next. Okay, he's good. Obviously. One of the best. He could win. And I'd be okay with it. Amy Schumer. Do we think she's gonna win? I watched the stand-up. I didn't love it. Sarah Silverman. I don't want her to win. After reading the Britney book and the shit she said,